Hey guys, Marisa at kitchentablestamper.com. Every other Thursday in the Kitchen Table Stamper Craft Social, we have a challenge. And this week, it's a featured stamper. Our featured stamper is Jana Lee Fail, and she shared with us this cool Joy fold gift card holder. And I did my best to figure out her measurements and to case it. Now, your challenge is to case this card also and come share with us in the Craft Social. And Craft Social is our little corner of Facebook. We have an amazing community of crafters there. Every other Thursday, there's a challenge. We do a live video where I demonstrate a project, and then I challenge you to go make that project with your Stampin' Up! Supplies. Thursday is the challenge. Some are live, some are prompts. We play tic-tac-toe, we play taboo, we play Connect 4. We do all kinds of different games. One week, I broadcast a live and then challenge you to make it. And one week we play a game with a prompt, color challenges. It's a whole lot of fun. I hope you'll join us. So this week, the challenge is to make this gift card holder. You'll be able to grab this printable project sheet off of kitchentablestamper.com and just follow the link that says project details. Click here. And you'll have all the measurements that you need to give this a try. If you make the challenge, Thursday the challenge is posted. If you make the challenge and share by Tuesday, then you're considered for Prize Patrol. It's really a whole lot of fun, and our community is amazing. All right, I've stamped my Bistro burger pieces with Memento Tuxedo Black on basic white. If you haven't seen this bundle, you need to check it out. The Bistro bundle is Stampin' Up! Annual Catalog. You can combine Bistro Burger and Bistro Burger dies and save 10% with the bundle discount. I'm going to color these guys up with some Stampin' blends here. I liked for my fries, light Daffodil Delight and light wild wheat. So let's go ahead and give those a quick fill with the light Daffodil Delight, and then we'll shadow with the light wild wheat. And I think it turned out to be a pretty good fry color. You guys, I love to color, but there's something about these like food images that aren't super easy to choose colors for. So I'm gonna go through and show you what I chose for each one and how I colored it. I wanted a good looking burger. See, the thing is it's got to look good enough to eat and realistic enough to eat. So you tell me what you think. All right, and I'm going to do the light wild wheat on any of the cut sides. And then in here where the artist shows these shadow lines, and I'm not really blending anything together. I'm just doing light on the tops and then dark or darker color, two different colors. We're doing wild wheat and Daffodil Delight, but the light Daffodil Delight on the top sides, and then the light wild wheat on what would be the cut sides of the fries. And then anywhere that artist did the shadow lines there. All right, so very simple, but still, I think good enough to eat. What do you think? All right, I think I got all the sides of my fries and all the tops of my fries. All right, then I decided for my pickle that I would do Old Olive. Let me make sure I've got the, light and dark Old Olive. And what I did was just a really quick swipe, kind of avoiding what might be a little bit of a highlight at one end, because sometimes cucumbers have that little bit of white. They're going to be shiny. And then I took the dark Old Olive and did where the artist put little hash lines. And then after the hash lines, I went in and just dotted where the artist put all these little dots and dashes. So this is kind of what I did for that. And then when I went back, I just dotted the light old olive over the dark. So it gave it kind of a texture. Now, if you're like me, sometimes you go out of the lines. That's what the color lifter is for. Went out of the lines a little bit, so I'm gonna push that back with the color lifter. It doesn't really lift, it pushes back. And so I'll keep this here, and I'll go back to that a few times to just really clean up where I went out of the lines. I did the pickles on the burger the same way, or the same color, only I did the light old olive for what was like the face of the slice. And then I did dark old olive for what was like the edge of the slice, like the skin edge of the cucumber. And that is my pickles both ways. Then I decided that the tomatoes would probably be best Poppy Parade. So did the tomatoes a lot like I did the pickles. Did the skin side the dark color, and then filled in the like face of the slice with the light color. And then I just kept it kind of simple like that. You could do a little bit of blending on the face of the slice if you want to, but I'm not gonna do it. Then let's go back to our color lifter. We're gonna keep pushing back where I went out of the lines there. We're coloring anyway, so it's no big deal. You'll see it get lighter and lighter as you go. What do we wanna do next? I'm gonna do the lettuce next because I have light granny apple green for my lettuce. And I'm just gonna color in the lettuce all around with the light granny apple green. Okay, there's our lettuce. Now for the cheese, I've got dark Daffodil Delight. And I'm just gonna color that in. Now the bun, I decided on SU 500 and SU 900. For my bun, and I kept it pretty simple. I colored the whole bun except for the little, I don't know what that's called. I know in sourdough when you make the cut and it curls up, it's called an ear, but I don't know what that's called at the top of the bun there, like that split. So I'm gonna do the whole bun just solid with the 500, top and bottom. All right, so there's the solid, and I'm gonna go back here just a little bit and add the edge of my cheese. I realized I didn't color all the way along the edge there with the cheese. Now, for the burger patty, I decided to go with the Stampin' Up! Bronze and SU 200. So let me show you, we're not quite done with the bun yet, but that's okay. I'm letting the ink dry a little bit. I'm gonna fill in my burger with bronze. Then while the ink is still wet on the burger, I'll take SU 200 and I'm going to just make a little bit of dashes where the artist put little lines. So it's going to give it a little bit of depth and texture. Now we'll go back to our bun and I'm going to do my SU 900 and fill in the split top. Then I'm going to take my SU 500 and just add a little bit of dots, very little, sparingly, in that cut. And then where the artist did some texture on the buns, I'm just going to go in and add a little bit of dots and dashes with the SU 500 just to give a little bit of depth. All right, there's my burger, pickle, and fries. Before we die cut, let's push back the green a little bit more where I went out of the lines. Those can dry for a minute. Let me grab some die cuts for you now. I did these die cuts ahead of time, and they came from a few different die sets. So let me show you that really quick if you're going to try this project. This is a brand new Greetings of the Season dies. I don't have a die chart for this one yet, but it's awesome tags. Totally worth its weight in gold. It can be bundled with the Greetings of the Season stamp set, but don't get caught up on the stamp set if you don't like it. It's totally, don't get bundled. And I used this biggest tag with the round top. Then I used this skinny banner. This is another one that I just keep coming back to again and again. And that one is from the Hearts and Hugs die set. You can use a little scrap here and then just do some dovetail on the end. And then I have this little octagon. It's like that clipped corner rectangle. It's got 8 sides. This is the Countryside Corners dies, and it's this little guy right down here. I've got the die chart, so if you're looking to substitute it, it's about 3/4 by 2 3/8. Okay, so let's do a little more stamping from the Bistro Burger stamp set. Let that dry for a second. My mess outside the lines is almost entirely gone. I can add just a little bit more color lifter while we switch our ink pads. I'm gonna do Night of Navy for all of my greetings. I love these big chunky greetings. Time to celebrate. You're kind of a big deal. Here's to a great guy. And look at my awesome new Night of Navy ink pad. Yes, I did treat myself to a new one because I broke my other one. Let's get these greetings. Time to celebrate is going to go to the right. So we have room for the little staples on there. If you don't have the little staples, grab a brad or a dingle or something to accent that side. And it's time to celebrate. Then we're going to do Here's to a Great Guy. And we're also going to put this one a little bit to the right because we're going to accent with some staples and a jalapeno. This is my husband's birthday card, so it needed to have that little jalapeno somewhere. Here's to a Great Guy. I don't know exactly where I'm going to give him a burger experience. I got these Red Robin gift cards off the gift card mall at our grocery store. So if you got a Red Robin around you and these are on the gift card mall at your grocery store, very, very convenient. All right, let's set those aside and let them dry. And inside we're gonna do this here, kind of a big deal, but we're gonna put it down at the bottom of the tag so that we can add some of those little banners across the top of the tag. You're kind of a big deal. I'm gonna leave enough room at the bottom so that I could sign Love, Marisa on there. And there's our greetings. All right, we've done our stamping. Let's build the base for our card and then do our die cutting. I'm going to start with 2 pieces of pecan pie here, and let me show you our template. The template photo, all the measurements, everything you need to make this card will be on the blog, kitchentablestamper.com, and the printable project sheet. We do printable project sheets for every project on our channel. We've got hundreds of videos, so go check out some of our other videos while you're here. And don't forget to like and subscribe. We've got 4 1/4 by 8 1/4, and it's scored at 5 1/2. Then we've got 3 by 8 1/2, and it's scored at 4 1/4. All right, that's our template. You're going to use this card again and again. I just know it. Let's, with or without the pocket, it makes a really cool fun fold. Let's get our scores on here. So we've got this guy, and we're going to pop it in on the 8 1/4 inch side, score at 5 1/2. Got this guy, we're going to pop it in on the 8 1/2 inch side, score at 4 1/4. While we've got the Simply Scored tool here, let's talk about the pocket. I'm doing the pocket from Designer Series paper. This is a carryover package from the last spring catalog or annual catalog. It's currently in the annual catalog. It's called Countryside Inn. you'll see that I've mixed up my designer series papers here. Really had to dig deep for a good masculine color combination, and this is my way of showing you how awesome Stampin' Up! Products can mix and match because of the core colors. All right, on this we're going to go 3 sides at 3/8 of an inch, so around all 3 sides, and this one is 3.5 by 4. All right, so there's our pocket. Let me show you that pocket because we're going to trim that according to the template. Super simple. I like this little pocket, gives a nice finish. You could make a little rectangle and just glue the edges all the way around, but I like this method of making a pocket, and it's very simple. All right, so we're going to work this backwards first because our designer series paper is printed. And if the fiber of the paper stretches and cracks, then the pattern gets disturbed, gets white spots. If you ever have like fuzzy white when you fold your designer series paper, try doing inside out first. It does help. And we're going to cut right off across the corners here. We're going straight through that point where the 2 lines intersect. Cut off the corners. Then I got a 2-inch circle punch right here. And we're going to punch about halfway and make a big thumb notch. Make it easy to get that gift card in and out of there. So there's our pocket. Let's work these folds with the bone folder and get some designer series paper on. All right, so there's all of our pieces in our sample. Now let me show you our designer series paper, and I'll show you where it comes from. So this one is the same as that pocket. It is Countryside Inn, and it is 2.5 by 4. Now this one is also 2.5 by 4, but I got that piece, the pecan pie pattern, from Nature's Sweetness. Also from Nature's Sweetness is this piece. This is 2 3/4 by 4. And then our final piece for the card base is 4 by 5 1/4, and that one is from Take to the Sky designer series paper. So I've got 3 different designer series paper packs here come together to make a really awesome card. You can definitely mix and match between the designer series paper packs because of Stampin' Up's amazing color coordination. So we're going to put this little guy right inside, or this big guy. It is our biggest guy. And just center. And then we've got these 2.5 by 4. We're going to put one inside and one outside on this flap. Now here, just a little pro tip, I did bring the other paper to the inside because I didn't want to worry about lining up the plaid from one panel to the other. So that was just part of what went into the decision there of what papers went where. Because if you've got a linear pattern like this, you'll want to start with a piece of paper that's big enough for both panels, and then cut it so that the pattern is continuous from one panel to the other. All right, so that's our base of the card. Let's set this aside for just a minute. Okay, now for this small card and the outside panel, let's adhere that one to the outside front of our card. There we go. So good. Now for the pocket, we're gonna fold the tabs in and we're gonna burnish it down nice and tight with the bone folder because that'll help us bring this pocket together nice and clean. Then we can add some liquid glue on all these glue tabs. You could use tear and tape here, but I like the slide that we're gonna get from the liquid glue. Make sure you get to the ends, but get to the ends by like sharing the glue, like spreading the glue. Don't put a big blob there because it'll ooze out. Got our pocket, and let's center our pocket on the inside of the card here with an equal bottom, right, and left border. And then you can just slide a little. I also like the liquid glue because I can slide a little to level it out. And then burnish all the way up to the top. And there is your gift card pocket. Love. All right, let's do our banners and buntings. We've got one on the outside of the card and one on the inside of the card. I did the little banners ahead of time. These are 3 different patterns from 3 different papers again. You can do what patterns appeal to you. I've got 2 patterns, actually there's 3 patterns from 2 different packs. I've got 3 of the little flags in Night of Navy and 2 in gray. Those are both from Take to the Sky. And then I found this cool pecan pie wood grain paper in the To Market Designer Series paper. So by just pulling our core colors, our featured colors from the different paper packs that I already have in my collection, we're really getting a great masculine feel here. I've got some linen thread and I'm going to wrap this small card so that it goes around the outside 2 times. Makes a nice big X, and then I'm going to tie a little bow. Don't want anything too extreme. It's my husband's birthday card. It doesn't need to have too much ribbons and bows, but I don't mind having that there. It shows kind of where the banners are tied up, gives some texture, but I don't think it makes it frilly, especially if it's a small one. So pull the center, or hold the center, pull the tails to get a nice small bow. And now we've got our little bow. Let's pull that away from, or snip that away from the spool, trim the ends. We're going to do the same kind of crisscross on the tag with the greeting. So let's grab that. You're kind of a big deal greeting. The thing is with this one though is we're going to just tie it in the back in a knot. So we have it crossed in the front, and it's going to tie up in the back nice and snug with a knot. You could just tape this to the back if you want to. That would be all right. I'm gonna use some liquid glue to put it on the card, so I'll just tie a nice snug knot right here. Don't pull it too hard, tight. You don't want it to buckle. And you need small enough tails that you can hide. There. So there's our linen thread treatments. And on the front side, we want to make our banner pattern before we exactly decide where these are going to land. I did want to have kind of an appealing pattern to the eye. So let's see if the banners are hanging on the string like that. I like the way that looks. All right, so everything is good. My linen thread is high enough. My banners aren't touching my greeting. So what I did with them is just rolled the fishtail end, the little chicken lips, and then put liquid glue. I got enough liquid glue here to share, so I'm going to touch that banner. That's one of my tricks with this glue. If you've got too much, share with the next piece that you've got to put down. So now we've got that same little liquid glue on the end, and I'm going to adhere it right over the string and roll up the tails a little bit. Last one, roll up the tails a little bit. Add a little liquid glue at the very top of the banner. I like the texture of the banners kind of like blowing in the breeze, right? If you want to glue them down all the way, go for it. If you don't want to be patient with the liquid glue, put them on with glue dots. All right, so there's our inside. You're kind of a big deal. And we're going to go ahead and put that inside of our little card. Oh, you guys, I forgot to add my embellishment to my sample. I had started out with a different embellishment and then used some staples. Because the staples are silver, I wanted a silver embellishment. So I pulled off the one that wasn't silver and forgot to go get these. These are called industrial trinkets. I think they're really great for masculine cards. They have got some bulk. So if I was going to mail this card, I don't think I'd put such a bulky embellishment inside, but because it's going to go, I'm going to hand it off to my husband, I'm going for that. I love the little pop of silver. It looks like the tag is anchored in some way, and then it repeats that silver of the staples. So sorry, forgot to add that there. It is a little bit bulky for the inside of the card though, and if it was going through the mail, it might cause some damage from the inside there, and it would definitely make it thick. So think about that. You can always use something a little bit flat and silver, but I really love that touch. All right, so we've got our little card coming together here. We can hold off on the banners until we get the knife placed for our burger. So I'm going to slide aside the rest of my banners here, and let's go ahead and adhere our small card to the card base. So we can add some liquid glue here. You could do a couple of strips of tear and tape if you like. And what I'll do is make my top, right, and left borders about even. Then, while it's still movable, I'll fold it up and make sure I like where everything sits. We're going to grab Time to Celebrate and Audition. Make sure that we have enough room to put it there with a little bit of blue peeking out from under. Looks great. I'm going to use a tiny attacher and put a couple staples in this banner. You could use the old Stampin' Up! Mini stapler, or we'll put a link to this tiny attacher on Amazon. I love staples as a masculine embellishment. I'm going to put it so that just the little chicken lips stick off the edge of the card. And there's our greeting. Let's get some die cutting going on here. I'm going to get my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine in. And we've got our burger and pickle and fries. We're also going to cut the cutting board because we need 2 of those for this project. So let's see if we can do it all in one pass. Oh yeah, that should be easy. All right, I showed you that little jalapeno inside, and we need that from 2 colors to give it a little bit of dimension. So I've got a little jalapeno, and I'm going to do mossy meadow off the edge here. And then here's our little board. We're going to do that one from a scrapbook crumb cake. Let's give that a crank. You're going to need 2 of the board so that we can get it finished inside and outside. All right, is that not awesome? I'm really hungry. All right, and here's the board. I guess that's very trendy in restaurants right now to serve food on these wooden boards, like cutting boards. And we're going to take this little jalapeno and we're going to paper piece with that little jalapeno. So this one's Old Olive. We already cut that one ahead. I did a couple other quick die cuts ahead so that you could see from the Bistro burger. Here's the handle for the knife. That's from Basic Black. Here is the knife itself. That's silver foil. And then I have a second of the board. All right, let's get all of our bits and our sample and finish this card up. So the first thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my board and I'm going to position it so that the right edge is at the right edge of the card. So there's a little bit of Designer Series paper showing underneath the board. And then I'm going to glue it, but I'm going to glue it just to the small card. So you just need glue right on the center there. And I think that's pretty good. Careful, the glue might use a little bit where the cutting board is open. Now, I'm going to take this and I'm going to flip it open and show you the difference. Now, you could stop right here if you wanted to. This one is just the one die cut. You can see it's kind of the back side. You can see the scoring from the scarring from the cutting pad. This one, you can see is nice and clean and smooth. And we're going to cannibalize this one to make that one nice and smooth. All right, so let me show you what I did here. We're going to close the card, grab some paper snips, and cut this little bit of the board off. Now, from the inside, we're going to take the second board and we're going to turn it, you see, so it almost lines up. It's not quite a mirror image. It's a little bit different, but that's okay. I'll show you what we'll do. We're going to dot some glue on this piece. Don't need too much, but this will also give that piece that's kind of standing by itself a little bit of extra strength too. So line those up as best you can, and then you'll turn and look. Is there anything that needs to be trimmed? There's a little bit because it's not exactly the same shape. So what I'll do here is I'll just cut what sticks out on the front side. It is not much, and it really does give us a nice clean inside and outside. Oh, hang on. All right, so after the little trim, it's clean on both sides. Now we're going to do the same thing on this side, but here's the trick here. This is got a cut that makes this two pieces, and so we're going to clean it up, but we're also going to stabilize it by taking this piece right here where it is not cut. We just need a little bit, and we're going to back that up and double that side of the cutting board too. Now, of course, you can do as little of this inside by just adding the cutting board to the front and cutting it off, or you can do the board like I did and then kind of double it up on the back to give it that nice clean finish. I'm kind of a fan of a nice clean finish anyways. The whole is made up of the details, right? So if you take care of the details, then the whole thing looks good. And so that's what I've got going on there. Just a little extra special finish on the inside. You might need a little bit more glue now at the edges here so that this is really secure. And if you have to do any sort of trimming so that the front looks as good as possible, you do that at this point too. All right, I'm loving this card. I hope that you are too. Let's get our French fries on the board. We're gonna put those down flat, a little bit of glue, and like this. Then we're going to put a little bit of glue on our knife handle, just a bit, in between where the rivets are and add that to the silver foil. Try to be careful here not to get liquid glue all over this silver foil. It really does leave marks. All right, so we got our little knife assembled. I'm gonna get my fine point glue bottle. Why am I struggling, right? I love that little glue bottle. I got it on Amazon. It's just the multi-purpose liquid glue transferred into it. But we're gonna cut this jalapeno top off, and this little needle is going to be a lifesaver for just reassembling here. Add a dot of glue, and then you can kind of spread it with the needle. Drop this little guy on top, super cute. Now you've got a jalapeno with a whole lot more character. This burger has a slice in the top already cut. The die does it for you. And we're gonna put the knife right in that slice. Is that cool or what? Now, all right, now we're gonna put some dimensionals on the back of our burger and on our pickle. And you put the dimensional, you might wanna put one on the knife, and then you've got to make sure that it's not going to go past the fold before you decide on final placement. All right, dimensionals are sticky. Let's add our burger and make sure that the knife handle is below the fold. Little pickle, love that. We can put our banners now, and this is going to be the same procedure. We're going to roll up the chicken lip side, add a little bit of glue at the blunt side, and then adhere to the card. All right, our banners are secure outside of the cards, looking pretty good. We still have our little jalapeno and one more greeting. Here's to a great guy. Let me show you that on this side. We're gonna add a little liquid glue to our jalapeno, jalapeno to our banner. I'm going to do a couple more little staples here, kind of at the bottom. And then we can glue this to the card. And, oh, it hardly even fits. Let's close up this one so you can see both inside and outside view as we wrap up this video. I'm gonna add a little gift card to the pocket, and there it is. Isn't that exciting? Thank you, Jana, for your contribution in the Kitchen Table Stamper Craft Social. It's been my pleasure to case your card and offer it as a challenge. I hope you'll join us in the Craft Social. The link is in the description below. Don't forget to like and subscribe on your way over there. If there's anything I can do to help you stay crafty, email Marisa at kitchentablestamper.com. And to shop Stampin' Up! 24/7, you can buzz over to marisaalvarez.stampinup.net. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.